What a beautiful introduction to our first Exploring Christianity session on YouTube. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm Liz Shercliff, and it's a great privilege to be with you. I'm part of St. Thomas's Church in Mellor in South Manchester. I remember watching the BBC series of The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe with our children a long time ago now. On seeing the BBC's Aslan for the first time, our daughter commented, "He doesn't look like that in the book." Of course, Aslan doesn't look like anything in the book. He's described in words, and the image comes from our own imaginations. Everyone will have a different Aslan. And I find it's the same with Jesus. Not the founder of the Christian faith, but the foundation of the Christian faith. I spent much of my life exploring Christianity, and now I'm blessed enough to do it for a living. Some of it I found puzzling, some of it reprehensible, some of it incredible. But most of it I found to be life-giving, affirming, thought-provoking, and intellectually satisfying. When I was asked a while ago to speak to a group of sixth formers about why I'm a Christian, I simply told them, because it makes sense. None of it does make sense, though, without Jesus Christ at the centre. For me, and I'm sorry if this sounds offensive, but for me, without Christ, it isn't Christianity. It's just being a jolly good kind of a person. So who is Jesus? Historically, there's more evidence that Jesus lived than that there is that Julius Caesar came to Britain. Rationally, the one thing Jesus could not have been is the one thing that many say he was, just a good man. The problem is that he claimed to be God. So either he was a liar, or he was deluded, or he was what he said he was. Millennia of interpretation and tradition have clouded what we might know about Jesus of Galilee, particularly millennia of patriarchal tradition. But as Heidegger, Schleiermacher and Bultmann all say, there cannot be any such thing as presuppositionless interpretation. We all meet the person of Jesus as ourselves, from our own life experiences and with our own presuppositions. There's no other way. My study has shown me that we will never arrive at an objective, uncluttered version of Jesus. For as soon as we think we have, we'll realize that another presupposition shaped what we thought we knew, or shaped the thinking of whoever we read. There's a well-acknowledged pattern of spiritual development that I think my exploration of the faith has followed. Firstly, it's the story that's important. We read and listen with interest to stories about what Jesus did. Then, though, we begin to wonder whether it really happened, and so we get hung up on historicity and factuality, as though history and fact have been unalterable concepts throughout human history, which, of course, they haven't. Finally, if we're brave enough, we come to the stage where we want to clear the clutter blocking our path and find Jesus for ourselves. For me, there came a time when I learned to value holy ignorance, genuine searching, more highly than religious certainty. In that position, it becomes almost impossible to explain beliefs to those who are certain. It becomes unnecessary to disentangle spirituality from the rest of life, for Jesus is in it all. There's a story I'm sure you know that comes in the Gospel according to John in chapter 11. Jesus' friend Lazarus dies, and Jesus doesn't get to Bethany in time to heal him. Lazarus' sisters are pretty cross with Jesus. Martha, one of them, goes out to meet Jesus on the road. In John's Gospel, it's Martha who first recognised Jesus for who he is. Jesus tells her, "I am the resurrection and the life." And suddenly, almost involuntarily, she realised. She says, almost before she can stop herself, "I believe you are the Messiah, the Son of God, the one coming into the world." Now, if you emphasise the first part of that statement, you end up with a doctrinal proposition. You are the Messiah. But if you emphasise the second part, you end up with life in all its fullness. You are the one coming into the world. And both are true. But English can't cope with the complexity of the Greek here, and perhaps a more accurate translation of that second part of the sentence would be something like, "You are the one who has come, who comes, who is coming, and who will come." Jesus is always there and always coming. And so, as a professional theologian, I would like to say this about exploring Christianity. Bible stories are complex and thought-provoking and engaging and entrancing. Bible history is fascinating and well attested. Bible doctrine is rational and intellectually satisfying. But the Bible Jesus is life-changing. While the intellectual pursuit of the Christian faith seems to narrow it down to a series of propositions, the spiritual pursuit of Jesus is widening and broadening and deepening. And so I commend to you, at the start of this new series of Exploring Christianity, the exploration of the one who has come and does come and will come, Jesus Christ.